Coach Kevin Ring, student athletes Xander Jimenez and Wyatt Harrison. Coach, we're going to have you start out with a couple of brief opening remarks, and then we'll open it up for questions first for the student athletes.
First off, credit UC Irvine, great victory by them. You get to this point in the season, and it's kind of a one and done in a conference tournament. So, nice job by UC Irvine. Really proud of how we came out. You kind of prepare for a match like this, and a little bit of training at home on Monday, and come out and have a couple good days of practice this week. And so, really proud of how well we responded in set one. Thought we played some really good volleyball. And made some big plays to kind of put ourselves in the position we were in. Unfortunately, we I think misfired on a few plays late in that set, and UC Irvine just kind of stayed the course and came back and won that. And we've talked all year, and we mentioned in the locker room being resilient. And you lose a tough one like that, and we want to be in that moment more often. The ability to be a deuce game and find a way to turn that tide in our favor. So even though it was a difficult loss, losing set one, we had no reason to kind of hang our heads. And unfortunately, we came out, and I think I said in the locker room afterward, I think Irvine kind of smelled blood in the water a little bit, and stayed real aggressive. I thought their serving really picked up, kept the pressure on us. So we kind of faltered there a little bit in set two, and they really kind of got going. And we fought and clawed a little bit, and had a few moments there in set three, but just not enough in the end.
All right, we'll take questions now for the student athletes.
Well, definitely some frustration, but I was kind of trying my hardest to forget about it, which I think is something that's really hard to do when you're in that position and it kind of slips away. But I guess just trying my best to reset, which I don't think I did the best job of in set two. But yeah, it was kind of going back and forth between frustration and trying to wipe it out and forget about it and move on.
Xander, part of all three of the blocks for you guys tonight. What was it that you were successful at? Was it more so reading the set, closing on the block? What was successful for you being part of all the blocks tonight?
Having played Irvine 2 times this year, we had a good scouting report going into it. We knew Carl loved to hit angle, and I just read him well. I thought the sets fell a little inside and just made a strong move, and that was the game plan from the get-go, and it went in our favor. I think it's, yes, it's intimidating, but for us, we see it in every team. Every team is a big team, and at this point, at the end of the season, it's something that we're used to, and I think know how to handle. Sometimes they might get us, but I think the most important thing is how we respond and answer back, and I wouldn't say that was a thought in my mind throughout the whole game. It was just something that we knew we can handle and deal with.
I would say, like Coach was saying, resilience for sure. I think the biggest thing I've seen this season, and I think probably a lot of people, is that consistency just goes a real long way. I think we had a lot of high points in the season. We had a lot of really, really close ones that we didn't quite come out on top, and it's just, I think, about staying consistent and hopefully not even getting to the point where you have to be resilient, because you're not necessarily getting down in the first place. But yeah, I would say consistency, kind of setting our standard at that upper level of play. It's definitely a lot of fun. It's always fun to play in a place where you kind of grew up and got to watch other people play. That's fun. I have a lot of family out here, so I don't get a lot at the other games, and that's always fun to have a little cheering section and kind of be able to play in front of them. Enjoy it a lot.
Any other questions for student athletes? All right, Wyatt, Xander, you may go back to the locker room, and we will continue with Coach Ring right now. And Any questions for Coach?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know as Wyatt said, being resilient, improve kind of our consistency. I think I've mentioned to my team many times that our upper end of play can be really pretty good. I mean, we can play with these other teams, and our low end of play, our opponents make those same kind of plays, and maybe their upper end, they live at their upper end a little more often, and we've at times have lived at our lower end of play a little more often than we'd like. And so you rarely ever play at your best, you rarely ever play at your very worst, you're somewhere in the middle. So what we try to tackle in our practice gym, and the same thing when we step in a court in our match experience, is can we raise what our upper end of play is, and can we bring up our lower end of play? And sometimes it's not even something that's even physical. Sometimes it's a mental component, to the game. Sometimes it's communication on the court. So we're just cleaning up little things, and the margins are so small. And we've had a number of deuce games this year. Some we've won, some we've come up on the short end. And you lose a game by 2 points extra. Certainly when it goes extra points, it's a half play here or there. Somebody does something just a half play better. We're up 1-0 in the first set and feeling pretty good about that. So those are things that we've got a very young team. We just talked with Xander Jimenez there, and he's our lone senior. So we just talked in the locker room, and our season next year has started, and the guys they're ready to get after it.
You just talked about the first set, it goes deuce. What was the message to the team like that 3 minutes between sets going into?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, you could, again, it's, thoughts of, hey, did we let that slip away? But that's not what we were communicating. And I think, and I even really liked what the guy said. Xander Jimenez has done a great job this year, really talking to the team. I think he's kind of the real vocal guy, and certainly in timeouts, in between sets. And certainly we have, as coaches, have the things we're going to say, and Xander does a great job with that as well. And it's really just trying to get right back on it, and I said, and I mentioned, 3 or 4 things that I thought we did really positive in that first set, and we're going to need that and then some. It didn't surprise me that Irvine kind of picked up their game a little bit, certainly kept the service pressure on us, but it's really just about it's almost as if that game didn't end. It's just they're up by 2, and let's just keep that level of play going, and can we turn the tide in our favor? Yeah, that's certainly Irvine. I think had maybe a little dip there. They lost a few matches. They had Joel Schneidmiller was out. I think maybe potentially with an injury. Him back in the lineup. I mean, he's just now. This is his 3rd match, I think, back in the lineup. So certainly he's a key component, and you saw kind of the difference with them. I was very impressed with Hawaii when they played us at our place. They won both matches. Very businesslike, but there's a lot of camaraderie on the court there. So, I'm not pulling for either team, but I think it's going to be a very competitive match. I think, Hawaii playing, in this tournament on their home court, they're going to be ready to go. But, I like Irvine as well.
You talked about Xander being the only senior. Outside of volleyball, what are you going to miss about not having him this year?
He's a very cerebral player, very smart on and off the court. And this year, I think each year, and certainly as he's become more of a key component to the team, it just kind of our relationship has grown, and just kind of the fun stuff, kind of the back and forth, the banter a little bit, and kind of ribbing each other a little bit, and coach player, and it's fun. I've really enjoyed having Xander on the team. I think he's really grown as a competitor for us over the years, and his first year redshirted, and then a little bit of time his redshirt freshman year, sophomore year in our program, and it's been a fun player to coach.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.